Good afternoon, guys, and happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. I had the worst upset stomach that I think I have had since I got that stomach bug like 2 Christmases ago. Maybe, I think it was 2 Christmases ago. I felt so sick. I woke up on and off from probably like maybe around at least 5 o'clock to 6 or something like that, and then finally at about 7:30 I actually was like, oh my gosh, like I started sort of gagging actually while I was sleeping still in bed. So I got up and actually put some peppermint oil on my stomach, and as soon as I got up out of bed I actually felt almost completely fine. It's really weird. Then I was like, okay, maybe I was just, it's really weird too. Sometimes depending on the way I am sleeping, like if I am sleeping on my left side or my right side, I can sometimes end up with the upset stomach. Like then I will just, you know, turn over and be totally fine. It's really weird. My stomach gets upset sometimes, and this is one of the few times that it has actually like woken me up though while I am sleeping. Like a lot of times I will notice if I get an upset stomach in the middle of the night, like I ate something before I went to bed and I probably shouldn't have, I will find myself rolled over on my stomach, actually sleeping like face down on my stomach. And I think it's like the pressure from sleeping on my stomach that actually helps, and it doesn't hurt anymore. And like I said, I don't know why. I could have an upset stomach, roll over, sleep like face down, and then wake up and be totally fine, which is what ended up happening today. After I got up and, like I said, put peppermint oil on, that was it. I didn't even bother taking like anything because I was super tired and didn't know the extent of what was actually wrong. Like I didn't know if, again, maybe I did have a stomach bug or something like that, in which case taking medication was literally not going to help at all, because I would, like I said, when I had that before, which that was like 2 years ago, everything I tried to take did not stay down. So like I said, I didn't know what it was going to be, and I was like, should I be concerned or not? Or, you know, like I was like, let's just try and see if I can get comfortable and go back to bed, and we'll see if I actually am okay. Like I said, after I put the peppermint oil on, and the weird thing was when I got up though and was awake, I actually felt okay. Whereas when I had that stomach bug before, when I was laying down was when I was fine. As soon as I would sit up, even if it was like to sit up to get a drink of water, a sip of water or something like that, immediately that was when I would need a bucket or something like that. It was pretty bad every single time that I sat up. And so this is how I knew that it was probably, again, something I just ate last night. My stomach was upset from it or whatever. So again, I ended up getting up, put peppermint oil on, noticed my stomach was okay. You know, I didn't feel insanely sick when I was actually up out of bed. And then when I laid back down, again, I felt like I was going to be sick. So I rolled over, slept on my stomach, and then slept soundly for several hours after that. Problem was that, again, I woke up around like 7 or 7:30, so my alarm started going off shortly after that. I ended up turning them off because I was like, I still feel sick, and I didn't know if I was actually like full-blown sick. I have been fine ever since I got up around 10 o'clock or so, and I ended up having avocado toast for breakfast. I didn't want to have like a bagel and cream cheese because I figured the dairy from that, my stomach is already not very dairy friendly, so I was like, that's probably not a good idea. So I went with avocado toast, had actually 4 slices, totally fine. I ended up having a couple of sips of coffee just because I didn't want to get a caffeine headache. And so I had a little bit of coffee, was totally fine, and then ended up actually having dinner as well, and was totally fine. So, and my stomach is still like, it still feels a little off, but like I said, sometimes I will wake up and it feels like that anyway, and I think that it's from sleeping like overnight, you know. And again, sometimes if I eat, or a lot of times drink something right before I go to bed, which I think that I had that those raw organic electrolyte drinks or whatever, which I really like the way they taste and everything, but the problem was I probably drank the entire thing a little less than that, because I had like Normally I will have half of a bottle of whatever I'm drinking one day and then half of it the other day. Like, and I will normally have it like with dinner. 2 nights ago I had like chickpea salad with some of that, but I didn't even drink half of it. I drank maybe a fourth or a third of it or something like that. So then yesterday night I had some of the Annie's organic macaroni and cheese and then the other part of that drink, and probably had like, again, 3/4 of it, or like 2/3 or something like that of the bottle still left. And I don't know if that was what it was from, or again, I didn't eat or drink super late like at night. I finished my dinner earlier, but then I stayed up to watch TV shows last night, so I was up a little bit later until like 11 o'clock or maybe around midnight, but I did end up having that drink until probably like after 10 o'clock. And so that's why I'm thinking it was maybe that. And again, it just didn't settle right with my stomach when I went to bed. And like I said, I woke up this morning and was literally just about sick. And felt completely crummy. Then, like I said, once I actually got up today, though, I have had so much energy. I have gotten, I didn't get a ton of stuff done too, because I was like, I don't want to overdo it. Stomach has been a little bit off again throughout the day, but I finished doing my whole grocery list. I ended up getting actually more blog stuff done, which I think that, again, I actually, what I did today was I did my schedule of the things that I need to get done on which days for what stuff. And then that way I can sort of look at that and go, what do I have for Mondays that I normally do? And then put it in my planner if that's something that Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday or whatever is things that I need to get done. But ideally, you know, if I'm doing XYZ during the week, and that week, you know, it pertains to doing it that week, then I can transfer it into actually doing it in my planner. Like, oh, don't forget that I have to do the matchups for this store or something like that. And I can copy that over into my actual planner to getting that stuff done. Just so I don't forget, because sometimes I will be like, oh, I have to, you know, do this for this thing. Or, you know, I have a blog post that I wanted to do, or I have a, you know, haul video that I need to edit or something like that. And then I completely like forget about actually having to do it because I didn't either write it down, or I don't have it somewhere where I know, like, once I get into the actual routine of doing it consistently, then sometimes I am good. I still sometimes forget about stuff. Again, doing editing or doing laundry or dishes and stuff like that. I honestly will sometimes get so totally sidetracked and then be like, oh yeah, or today was Tuesday, I'm supposed to clean the bathroom today, or it's Wednesday, I clean the kitchens on Wednesday, and then totally space out and forget what day it is, or again, just get sidetracked and wind up doing other things. And instead of making sure too that I'm like, okay, I have to do that today, I need to make sure I plan my time around, you know, or my free time around making sure that I do that. Or, you know, like planning a time, like, okay, 2 o'clock is a lot of times when I clean the bathroom. So, but if I forget that it's Tuesday, or again, I wake up late or something like that, then sometimes I totally space out and forget about it. So anyways, I ended up doing that today though, of just sort of like the things that, again, will possibly wind up doing in that specific day worth of time. Like Mondays, other than like catch-up stuff, actually, I probably won't have a lot of stuff going on Mondays as far as like blog things and stuff like that goes. But again, we will see. I have to you know, kind of start working out that schedule a little bit too, and then just kind of hopefully stay up to date with all that stuff and things that are going on. One of the big things that I was doing was going over like my jewel list that I need to make in Aldi and Valley Produce and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, when I do my jewel list, it's almost like I go through everything, and then if I'm like, I don't really feel like doing this deal this week, is it still going to be available next week? Oh yeah, it is. Then I might forget about it. And so, but I still go through everything to find out, like, is there a deal or is there stuff? Because like I had a lot of stuff that's going on this week anyway, because there's a lot of stuff for St. Patrick's Day that we're gonna need, and you know, things like that. So that's why, like, I was like, there's a couple things that I still thought were pretty good deals, but I was like, because I'm getting so much stuff anyway, I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, let's just go crazy and spend a whole ton of money this week. Whereas like next week, if it's a slower week, maybe I might have some other things that I could, you know, like I said, get and stuff like that. Also too, because I don't want to spend hours out at the grocery store trying to find all of the things, whereas, you know, I can do some of that stuff also next week. But like I said, when I do go through my list and all that kind of stuff, it's literally like going through a whole, and doing a whole blog post. And so that's why I'm like, I could literally just actually write this stuff out and then just post it. This stuff that I would literally do anyway when I go through and do my matchups sort of for my just grocery list in general. So that's why, like I said, it's just one of those things that like I need to remind myself, like, okay, I probably actually shouldn't do this on Thursday though, the day before I go to the grocery store, maybe earlier in the week, but then also too, so I don't forget about a couple of those deals that I was like, oh yeah, that thing's on sale through the end of the month, and there's also a coupon that doesn't expire for, you know, until the end of the month either, and that deal will be good, you know, all the way through. And so again, there is sometimes some of those deals like that, but I totally forget about them if I didn't write them down, or put them in a blog post or something like that. So at the same time too, it's helpful for me when I'm actually going back through and making my grocery list for like the following week as well, or if there's reoccurring deals too. So like I said, guys, I got a ton of that stuff done, but you know, I'm just like, I should start posting probably, because I literally feel like I'm almost at that point now where I could start posting things on my blog, and you know, just being organized enough, because that's the thing, is that sometimes I'm like, oh, I can start posting things, or I can start sharing stuff, or you know, whatever, and then I'm like, I'm so disorganized, and then it comes full circle where I just kind of shut down then, and I'm like, I can't do any of this because my brain is all over the place. I don't have, you know, the things laid out the way I want them to be or whatever. So like I said, there's a lot of sort of different things that all go into that. But for me, again, I really need planners, lists, organization and stuff like that to actually keep things going and keep myself organized as well. Sometimes I will just, even if I don't get overwhelmed, sometimes I just sort of, you know, give up, or, you know, like, just take a break from something. But for the most part, a lot of the times, like 85% of the times, is because things get super out of hand and overwhelming. Like my desk for the last probably 2 or 3 weeks has been a mess with papers and sales, you know, sales ads and receipts all over the place. And finally I cleaned it off yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so nice and refreshing. I can sit at my desk, I can do things, you know, that make me feel a little bit more like I'm not being lazy and just staying in bed all day, because I can actually get up and sit in my desk and work from there instead of 5 feet away in my bed. But you know, like I was saying, it's just, for me, I sort of need that, like, you know, either a different atmosphere or a different environment, like, sort of, even if it's just across the room at my desk, and, you know, like I said, to kind of keep myself organized, motivated, and all that kind of stuff. So that's why sometimes I can keep that motivation going, even if I think that I'm sort of like losing that motivation. I lose it faster, I think, when things also start to get out of hand and unorganized, and I get behind with things, because then I get overwhelmed. So that's why, like I was saying, for me, it's just like a lot of steps that I like to put into things, and before I actually decide, like, okay, I am going to start doing something, or I'm going to start doing this or whatever. Like, you know, it's the same way too with like me and my dad when we were doing projects over pretty much this time last year, guys. It will be about a year ago, because it was the, like, right before St. Patrick's Day that, you know, the pandemic sort of set everybody into crazy, you know, stockpiling mode and all that kind of stuff, and grocery stores had nothing. And like, it was this time last year, because I remember one of the only things at Aldi, meat-wise, was actually that was left, I remember when we went there, was corned beef. And my mom was like, we can make Reuben sandwiches. And so, like I said, it was about this time last year, because that was one of the few things that Aldi had. They didn't have it at the first one we went to on like Friday night or whatever, but then when we went Saturday morning, they had them left at our local Aldi. And so, like I said, that's how I know it was like this time exactly last year, because I was buying all of the stuff for St. Patrick's Day, and we almost didn't get our I was gonna say Thanksgiving, our St. Patrick's Day meal, because we almost couldn't find some of this stuff too. But then, like, honestly, the stores weren't selling a lot of that, or nobody wanted to or weren't buying up some of those things too. So like, we had bread and we had rye bread that I had bought ahead of time, and we had Swiss cheese, but we didn't have the corned beef. And so like I said, we got that at Aldi, and then I think a couple days later my dad went to Target and got a second corned beef, because we wanted to do like leftover Reuben sandwiches. We didn't have almost any leftovers, I think, but then we got sauerkraut too, which again, he was like, there was like tons of sauerkraut. He's like, but no other canned stuff or like jarred stuff at Target. So, you know, like all the pasta sauce was gone, but the sauerkraut was still there. So we ended up doing that, I think for like a 2 or 3 maybe days sporadically, like in that first sort of like week or two, with like leftovers, and then the second one that we ended up getting too from Target. But yeah, that was, like I said, it was literally about a year ago. So this is the first time that I have been out at the grocery stores, like, you know, or I guess starting next week will be the first time, because I think after that I stopped going to the grocery store and just my dad was going on his way home from like work. Like he was just going to like Target or Aldi, just kind of on the basis of whatever they had too. And he was like, okay, well they had like, you know, this cereal, and we were like, okay, I guess we'll eat that, you know, and things like that. So yeah, guys, this is, like I said, it's gonna be weird to actually probably go to the grocery stores tomorrow and over this weekend and be able to find everything okay, and all of the deals and things like that too, because like Jewel honestly had some non-advertised deals that I was able to find on a lot of the things that we are actually gonna probably need for St. Patrick's Day anyway. They did have their corned beef was the same price actually, I believe, at Aldi anyway. So I'm gonna get that at Jewel, just because I earn, you know, the points or whatever for how much money I'm spending. So I was like, well, if it's the same price there versus at Aldi, I can get it at Jewel, and then like they're just for you rewards, I can earn more points. So I was thinking that was where I was gonna get that. And then they also had rye bread too. It was on sale, the cheapest out of all the grocery stores, plus there's also a coupon. I was like, I'm gonna get it there. So we have that, and then we normally get like potatoes, carrots, cabbage, which is all on sale at Caputo's and Valley Produce. And I think that's pretty much it. Then we'll also have rye bread. We're gonna get a jar of sauerkraut, and then also we are gonna get Swiss cheese so we can do Reuben sandwiches with leftovers. Since Matthew probably won't be here for St. Patrick's Day, so we should have probably enough leftovers. But I'm gonna probably try and get the biggest one that I can at Jewel, just so again we can, the day after St. Patrick's Day, we can do leftover like Reuben sandwiches. And that's because I don't know how to make sauerkraut. That's why I'm just gonna get a jar of sauerkraut. But you make it with cabbage and something, I think it's like fermented or like something like that, cabbage, I don't know. I don't really know what sauerkraut is other than, like I said, I think cabbage. But like I said, all the stuff's on sale, so we're going to do all of that. And I was able to figure it out at all the cheapest places, all the different stores. So, you know, like I said, compared to everything else, like Jewel will probably be a lot, but a lot of the stuff that we're getting there are things that we probably either have to get at Aldi anyway, or again, just like at Valley Produce or Caputo's that we probably wind up spending actually more money on anyway. So anyways, guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give it a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.